What's up, everyone? I'm Alex Neff, your real estate resource in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Today, we are going to talk about 5 rules for success in buying rental properties. These are some things that have worked with myself, with other investors, and these are just some really great rules to live by if you want to buy rental properties. Now, this is by no means the absolute end all be all, but these are some of the rules that have worked best for investors that I've worked with and also myself. So first, we have the 2% rule. This 2% rule ensures that your rental property produces adequate cash flow to pay all of your expenses with enough income left over. It does not take financing into consideration, which should be used for evaluation whether or not you're using financing. So this 2% rule is a target percentage for your market rent divided by the total acquisition cost of a property. If you reach that target percentage, you'll typically receive adequate income after paying all expenses associated with the property anyway. If you only reach a 1% threshold, you'll often not produce income, even if it appears you are in the beginning. Maintenance and vacancy are real expenses that must be accounted for when evaluating a prospective purchase. So the 2% rule is huge because say you buy a property for $150,000 and it needs about $50,000 worth of work. Now you have your $200,000 all in. You want to make sure that your positive cash flow after all of your expenses, your rent, your amortization, maintenance, vacancy, management fees if you have any, utilities if you're covering any. You want to make sure that your positive cash flow after everything is 2% at least. So on this $200,000 property, you want to make sure that you're cash flowing at least $400 every month. Next, we have the half rent rule. The half rent rule exists to protect you from over leveraging your property. Do not allow your PITI payment to exceed half of the market rent. So what is PITI? It's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That's what the lumped together, some just call it a mortgage payment. That's what your lumped together payment is. The principal towards your mortgage, the interest of the mortgage, the taxes, and the insurance. So this rule is that you do not want to over leverage your property. You don't want your PITI payment to exceed half of the market rent. Your new property may meet that 2% rule with a strong enough rental income, but if you've over leveraged it, it may not leave a safe margin of error. So that could be anywhere along the lines of, maybe you took out a line of credit or a home equity loan on the equity that you've built in the property. Now you've added an extra monthly payment onto your cash flow. You don't want to have it exceed the market rent. If market rent in the area is $1,000, why would you want to pay $1,500 a month in a PITI payment, your principal, interest, tax, insurance, and also some other line of credit or some other lien that you have against the property? Next, we have the $200 rule. Don't purchase a property that will net less than $200 a month after all of your expenses, including maintenance and vacancy estimates. It may not be worth the time or the headache to own something that nets such little profit. That is really a straightforward rule. Is $200 a month worth the time and patience that is required when dealing with tenants and people living in your property? Next, we have the 15% rule. This is one that represents your annual return after expenses without taking financing into consideration. It's used in the same manner as a cap rate or the capitalization rate. That measures your return on your investment, your ROI. It's typically applied to commercial properties, but can still be useful with individual residential properties as well. The way that you calculate this cap rate is by taking your NOI, your net operating income, and divide it by the purchase price. So it's your total net income expressed annually, but it does not take financing into consideration. So the cap rate calculation evaluates the return on investment based on the property merits alone. So you want to make sure that a property might have at least a 15% cap rate. So that means that your NOI, your net operating income, is low compared to what your purchase price is. And lastly, we have the 25% rule. This rule ensures that your investment will be returned to you in a reasonable period of time, also known as the cash on cash return. How long will it take to recoup the initial out of pocket investment? So the 25% rule is important because how long do you want to wait to be able to get your cash out and use it to buy another property or do something else with it entirely? Because real estate is not a very liquid business. It's not a fast business. It is a time tested and very worthwhile business that requires a lot of patience and someone likes to say intestinal fortitude. You need to have the stomach for real estate. So the 25% rule is wonderful because how long will my cash be tied up and how long will I get a 25% return on my investment? How long is that going to take? And that is completely up to the individual. Will it take a month, 3 months, a year? How long are you willing to have your cash tied up for in a property before you can get a 25% return on your investment and have your cash back? And lastly, I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have at any time. Feel free to reach out to me on any of the socials. You can DM me, you can message me on Instagram, you can follow me on, find me on Google, Alex Neff Realtor. All of my info is there. I'm always happy to be a resource in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video.